Hey everybody, today I'm going to be showing you how to fix an engine that runs really loud. Here I have this Proteus, and he works, but he's really loud. Sometimes that can happen just because the train's gears are really dirty. The rest of the time, it's because it needs a new gear for the motor. Here I have some gears, I just ordered them off of Amazon. And oftentimes the gear on the motor just needs to be replaced because it's old, and I'm going to show you how to do that. You're going to need the train, the gears to replace it with, or a toothbrush if it's loud, or a toothbrush sometimes, depends if it's dirty or not, and then 2 screwdrivers for most engines. Most of the time, if it can unscrew a screw like this one to reach the battery compartment, that'll work for the Phillips head screwdriver. And then you're also going to want a triangle screwdriver. And just the size kind of like this should work. Pretty similar size to the Phillips head screwdriver. So you're going to want to open up the train and take out the battery. You're going to want to unscrew this so you can take off the entire shell. Well, on the trains that have that. On some other trains, they have a screw on the back by the coupler that is holding in like a big block that will either be like black or like a tan color, like, well, a whitish tan color like this. You can unscrew that screw on the trains that are like that. Or sometimes on some trains, they've got 2 screws in the back of them, like some of these old Thomases. You just like pop off the top, and then to take the motor block out, you just unscrew these 2 screws, just like that on some trains. And also, I forgot to mention earlier, this will only work with the older trains, or the ones that have these rubber tires on them. It will not work with the ones that have the spikes on them. So then once you're done unscrewing the shell, just take it off. It'd be a good idea to put your screws in some container so that they don't get lost. And then you'll end up with something like this. I was talking about earlier, there's a screw in the back on some trains. It's like this. So you can just unscrew this. Yeah, and so then you should just have this block with the switch. You can stick a battery in it if you want, and it should work. Sometimes just because it doesn't have the wheels and it's not like trying to move the whole train, it won't sound loud like this. Like this one doesn't sound very loud when there's not the wheels in it. But if I put the wheels in it, if I put the wheels in it and then turn it on and like put pressure on the wheels, it's just as loud as it was before. So you're going to want to unscrew these screws. For most trains, there's 2 on one side and then 1 on the other that's holding the switch in place. On some other trains, there's like 2 on one side, 2 on the other, and some trains there's sometimes even 4 on each side. But yeah, let me try. Just a second while I unscrew the screw. That was tight, wow. You got it loose. Fish. Whoops. Yeah, I'll just do the rest. Whoa. There we go. Okay. Oh, yeah. And then there's also, for most trains, there's 1 on the other side by the switch. This one has it right here. So make sure you get that. Also, when you're putting it back in, make sure you don't put it back in too tightly, or else it'll be hard to turn the train on and off. And then also don't do it too loose, or else the metal pieces on the switch won't touch what it's supposed to, and it won't turn on. Okay, so then you're gonna have this. You want to open this carefully most of the time, because some of the trains have like 6 gears in like just an area, like from here to here. Sometimes they have like 6 gears in that area, and it can be really hard to find where they're supposed to go sometimes. So it'd be a good idea to take off one side very carefully. Usually the side that comes off easier is the side that has this mark on it where the switch goes back and forth. Like, the switch can fit on it. That side's usually the one that you should try to take off. And then also, make sure you do not lose the spring on this gear. It is very easy to lose. But then you're going to want to take out this piece with the motor and the gear on the motor. You're going to want to take off the gear on the motor. Sometimes you can just use like pliers or something. I'm going to go take it off. Yeah, okay, so I just got this gear off. You can just pull it off. This style of gear here is actually the hardest one to find. I'll see if I have any of this kind in this bag. Well, actually, first I'm gonna want to see if like, okay, this one's too big for sure. But first I'm gonna check and see if some other ones fit. Okay, nice. I found a gear that is the same size. Whoa, that's the same size as this. So then you can just pop it on here. So, yeah, okay, just a second. Sometimes, depending on where you order it from, it can be hard to put it on. If it's too easy to put it on, you're going to want to try to put like some glue on it or something. Otherwise, it'll still be noisy, because then you'll still have the same problem with the gear of it being loose. So, okay, so here I got this gear on. I just pushed it against the track piece so that it would be pushing it in. So then we can put this back in here. Well, okay, there's actually a gear in the way right here. I need to take out this gear. And then I can put this motor piece back in. Oh, this metal piece was bent. Okay, there we go. And so now I can put this in here, and I can put this in here. Make sure you do not lose the spring that is on this gear. If you do lose it, the engine will still run, it just will not be able to roll freely when it's turned off. Okay, so then once you have the gears in here like this, you're going to want to just put this piece on. Sometimes it can take a few tries to get it on if it has like a lot of gears, because then like all of the tips of them have to be like facing perfectly for it to work. But anyway, before you put on the switch though, it'd actually be a good idea to put back in some of the other screws first, so that you don't accidentally open it while trying to do the switch. So you screw in these side screws. Well, basically just do the screw with the switch last. Also, if you end up with a screw that's like, oh, where did it go? Like this one, well, you probably can't see very well, but like some of it on the inside broke off, and so it was really hard to unscrew. The screw got stripped off. You're gonna want to get a different screw if that happens. Otherwise, you might not be able to get it open again. So if you need to get it open again for something in future, so I am gonna try to find another screw in this that's not stripped out here. So just a second. Okay. So I found the screw. It was, yeah, this one. It still fits. It's just like gonna be a lot easier to get in and out because it's not damaged. So then just go ahead and screw the screws in, and remember, do the one with the switch last. So then here's the switch, and then we'll screw it in. And remember, don't do it too tight or too loose, otherwise the switch will be really hard to move, or either the switch will be too hard to move, or the metal on the switch won't touch some other pieces right, and it won't turn on when you tell it to. So once you've got all the screws screwed in just on this block, it'd be a good idea to test it again. Here, I don't know what's going on. You can hear that something's weird. Yeah, okay, if that happens to you, then you're gonna wanna unscrew these screws again, and you're gonna wanna open it up, and you're gonna wanna try to find, like, what's causing it. So I'm opening this up right now again. So, and remember, open this carefully. Okay. So sometimes just try spinning this. While spinning this, I can see that it kind of tries to lift this up a little bit. And it looks like there's not really anything on this side to stop it from lifting up a little bit. So, okay, I think I might have found the problem. I'll test it out in a second. But what I think was happening is that this motor cork was hitting the gear. It's pinned to the side right here. So I'm going to try pushing the gear in a little farther. Okay, so I pushed on the cork farther, and I'm going to see if that works. What? Why can I not get this in anymore? Okay. Yeah, I got it in. So now let's put the rest of the gears in here. And we'll see if this has fixed the problem. Those two still sound kind of loud though. So it might not have fixed it, we'll see. So, let me put, whoops. Okay. Yeah, so then we put this piece back on. And then we screw it in. Now the switch. Oh! It did actually fix the problem. That was actually the problem. Maybe the screws weren't tight enough before or something, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure the problem was that the motor cork was hitting that other gear. So if you're having the problem, try doing what I just did, and hopefully it works. Yeah, so now all you gotta do is just reassemble the rest of it, so put the wheels in if they fell out, put this motor block piece back in, screw it in, and then take the main shell piece and screw it back in. Wait, oops, for Proteus the short screws go in the front. And then the long screws go in the back. Oh, this is the other screw that was stripped out. Then this screw. Where did the other short screw go? Oh, here it is. Okay, yeah. So now Proteus is running a lot quieter than he was before. Of course, he's still gonna make some noise because that's just what gears are. It doesn't matter how old they are. Just gears are loud sometimes, but not nearly as loud as he was before. So yeah, now you basically got the whole thing done. Or if it's like a model like Proteus or Sir Handel or Peter Sam, then you've also got this piece to put back on. And just screw it back in, and there you go. Now he's way quieter.